Hello friends, today we are demonstrating Augment Baseplate system of comprehensive Biomet. It's an excellent system with which you can do a wide variety of glenoid cases. You can use it for superior wear as we have seen in rotator cuff arthropathy. You can use it for posterior wear as we see in osteoarthritis, and you can also use this in a native normal glenoid so as to achieve an inferior tilt of the glenoid without causing a bone loss, and by doing that you will be actually causing a lateralization of the glenoid. So bone preservation and lateralization can be achieved by using of augmented glenoid system. We recommend a half glenoid augment. We don't recommend a full wedge because a full wedge will lead to a rotational imbalances occasionally. So what is recommended nowadays are glenoid half wedges. The set comes with three sizes. We have a small, medium and large. The small one is 3 millimeters, the medium is 5 and the large is 7 millimeters. And this will lead to 10 degrees, 20 degrees and 30 degrees of glenoid wedges. Now this wedge can be put on the superior aspect. These can be put on the posterior aspect, and very rarely you can use it on the anterior aspect if you have an anterior instability sequelae of osteoarthritis. So effectively you can tackle all kinds of glenoid bone loss by using this glenoid augmented baseplate system from comprehensive Biomet. Now let's start with the live demonstration on the model about how we do the augmented glenoid, and we will be comparing it with the standard glenoid, and you will be realizing that how less the bone loss is there if we are using a augmented glenoid. Thank you. So this is the augmented baseplate set of comprehensive Zimmer. Here we have 9 options. We have small, medium and large augments which are available, and as I told you, we are recommending hemi augments, that is we are recommending half augments, not full augments, because full augments have a fear of rotational instability. So we are recommending half augments. The augments come in the sizes of small, medium and large. The small one is 3 millimeter augment. This gives you a 10 degrees of tilt. The medium one is a 5 millimeter of augment, and this will give you a 20 degrees of augment. And the large one is a 7 millimeter of augment, and this will give you a 30 degree of tilt. So with this system you have got a lot of modularity. Now every small, medium and large comes with 3 guides. One guide is for the superior wear, and the other 2 plates are for the right and left posterior. And if you want to use it for an anterior deficit, you can use right for the left and left for the right. So you can use this system for superior wear, which is most common in rotator cuff arthropathy, in the posterior wear, which is common in osteoarthritis, and in the anterior wear, which is very rare, that is a sequelae of anterior shoulder instability. So these 3 are for the small one, these 3 are for the medium one, and these 3 are for the large one. So these will be used to drill the central wire. Now we have these are the sizers which will be used in the end, and after we drill the guide pin, we will be checking with these guides whether we have a good augment option available or not. Once we have checked that, we will be using either of these 2. This is for the anterior and posterior augment, and this is for the superior augment, and this is basically a guide pin for the 2.7 millimeter wire, which will give the rotational stability. And once we are done with that, we will be using the reamer for the wedge. Now reamer of the wedge are again 3, small, medium and large, and these reamers are placed in the central hole and the 2.7 mm hole. Once these reamer are placed, These reamers are secured with a screw. This is the screw which is used to secure the central bushing, and now over that bushing we will be putting this black reamer, and after that we will be reaming with the small, medium and the large sized augmented reamers. So this is the step: guide pin insertion. The first step is the guide pin insertion with the golden guide, and we have 9 options in that. Second, we have to check how much of augment we have to use, small, medium and large. Third step is we have to put the 2.7 mm reamer and guide for rotational stability. Then we have to put the small, medium or the large augmented reamer guide. Then you have to fix it with the screw and bushing, and then we have to ream. And this is the steps of doing a augmented glenoid base plate. Thank you. Now we are using the standard base plate, and this base plate has to be implanted in 10 degrees of inferior tilt. What we are doing here is we are implanting the central wire. Central pin has to be drilled with an inferior tilt of 10 millimeters. So in a standard system, standard glenoid base plate, the pin is drilled in a 10 degrees of inferior tilt. Ideally, if you see here, the wire should exit on the anterior part of the glenoid right here, and you can see it, you can feel it with your finger if you have done an adequate capsular release. So this is a very classical position of a central bead pin insertion with a 10 degree of inferior tilt. Now if you want to do a standard base plate, you can just drill it like this. You can drill it like this, and what you can appreciate is we have drilled the inferior surface as well as the superior surface, and this is called as what is called as a smiley sign, where you can appreciate that this part is reamed more and it is like a smiley sign, and you have reamed a lot of inferior bone and the superior bone as well, and this will lead to a very good fixation, but you are actually removing more bone from the inferior part. So this, although the standard base plate is the mainstay for treatment of most of the cases, but if you are using it, you need to do a more bone resection or removal to attain a good base plate fixation. So this is how we use a standard base plate in the comprehensive system. Now we will compare it with using of the augmented base plate system. Now we will be using a medium augment guide, and we will be placing it into its place like this. Once we have placed the medium augment guide, which will give us a 5 mm of resection, we will be fixing the augment guide with a special screw, and this will allow us to give a very strong fixation, because it will be a bicortical sort of a fixation of the central part as well as the. Now there is a black line here, and this black line should match with the other black line, so that we can appreciate here the screw is in its position, and when we fix it up, the black lines are both into its place. After that, we will put a black colored bushing. So once we are done with that, we will be putting the black colored bushing right here, and then we are using a medium, this you can see the medium augment reamer, which will be, now we are using the medium sized augment reamer over here like this, and we hold it tight. So we have put the augment reamer guide. This is rotationally stable guide. We have used a medium one. Now this has to be fixed with this screw. The screw goes in like this, and there is a black line here. which has to match with a black line on the augment guide. Now we can see that the screw is very tightly fixed, very strongly fixed here, and now this is very solidly fixed. Now there is a black colored bushing which will be applied over to the augment reamer guide, and now we will be reaming like this. रिवर्स में तो रिवर्स है इधर ओवर कर उसको ये अब लगा. Now this is the medium reamer guide for the augment. We put it right here and we ream it like this. So this will ream only the superior part and the inferior part is protected by this. So by using this particular system, we have reamed only the superior part in the medium type of. So when we remove this with the screw, you will realize, screw please, screwdriver please. So when you remove this, okay. So when you remove this, you will realize that there is a hemispherical preparation, and this is the base plate which has to be implanted with a superior wedge, and this base plate can be very nicely implanted like this. And what you can appreciate here is we have a bone surface from the superior here and the inferior, both the surfaces, and very much bone preserving as compared to the standard one. If you see the standard one, we have to ream a lot of bone here. And when you use the standard, so if you are using an augmented medium base plate, you will be implanting it right here, and you will be able to achieve a more lateralized glenosphere as compared to the standard one, in which the lateralization will be little less. So what you can appreciate here is this is the size. So this will be the actual size of your augment, and this fits very nicely here, and there is a very less bone which we have removed as compared to this, and the less bone removes is equivalent to the lateralization we will be able to achieve without being needing to use any bony or without using any structural augments on the glenosphere. So this is why this augmented system is very useful, specifically for a standard case as well. You can use this case for superior posterior wear as well in a routine case, but in a standard case also it will give you a very much bone preserving aspect whenever you are implanting the base plate. Thank you.